What is the role of salivary amylase in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Salivary amylase breaks down starch into maltose and dextrins. Where is bile produced? And what is its function in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Bile is produced in the liver. It helps in the emulsification of fats. What is the function of hemoglobin in blood?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hemoglobin carries oxygen from the lungs to the body tissues and returns carbon dioxide back to the lungs. How is oxygen transported in the blood?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Oxygen is transported in the blood primarily by binding to hemoglobin in red blood cells. Which hormone regulates the reabsorption of water in the kidney?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Antidiuretic hormone, ADH, regulates water reabsorption in the kidneys. What is the function of the loop of Henle in the nephron?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The loop of Henle is responsible for concentrating urine by reabsorbing water and salts. What are the components of the human circulatory system?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The human circulatory system includes the heart, blood vessels, arteries, veins, capillaries, and blood. What is the role of the medulla oblongata in breathing?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The medulla oblongata regulates the involuntary control of breathing. How does the human body maintain a constant body temperature?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The hypothalamus in the brain acts as the thermoregulatory center, controlling body temperature. What is the role of the diaphragm in breathing?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The diaphragm contracts during inhalation, increasing the thoracic cavity's volume and allowing air to enter the lungs. What are the main components of human blood?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Human blood is composed of plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. How does the kidney help in maintaining homeostasis?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The kidneys regulate fluid balance, electrolyte levels, and the removal of waste products from the blood. What is the function of the cerebellum?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The cerebellum coordinates voluntary movements, balance, and posture. How are nerve impulses transmitted across synapses?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Nerve impulses are transmitted across synapses via neurotransmitters like acetylcholine. What is the main function of the hypothalamus?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The hypothalamus controls the autonomic nervous system and the release of hormones from the pituitary gland. What is the difference between systole and diastole?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Systole is the phase of heart contraction, while diastole is the phase of heart relaxation. What is the role of aldosterone in kidney function?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Aldosterone regulates sodium and water balance in the kidneys by increasing sodium reabsorption. How is urine formed in the human kidney?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Urine formation involves filtration, reabsorption, and secretion in the nephron. What are sarcomeres, and where are they found?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Sarcomeres are the structural units of muscle fibers responsible for muscle contraction. How does the body regulate blood sugar levels?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Blood sugar levels are regulated by insulin and glucagon, produced by the pancreas. What is the function of hemoglobin?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hemoglobin binds to oxygen in the lungs and transports it to tissues, and returns CO2 from tissues to the lungs. How do muscles contract according to the sliding filament theory?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Muscles contract by the sliding of actin and myosin filaments over each other, powered by ATP. What is the significance of villi in the small intestine?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Villi increase the surface area for absorption of nutrients. How does carbon dioxide transport occur in the blood?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Carbon dioxide is transported as bicarbonate ions, bound to hemoglobin, or dissolved in plasma. What is the Bohr effect?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The Bohr effect describes how hemoglobin's oxygen binding affinity decreases in the presence of increased carbon dioxide and hydrogen ions. What is the function of the sinoatrial SA node?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The SA node, ACTS, is the pacemaker of the heart, initiating the heartbeat. What is glomerular filtration rate, GFR?
3, 2, 1, 0.
GFR is the amount of filtrate formed by the kidneys per minute. Typically about 125 milliliters per minute in adults. What is the function of bile salts in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Bile salts emulsify fats, breaking them into smaller droplets for easier digestion by enzymes. What is tidal volume?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Tidal volume is the amount of air inhaled or exhaled during normal breathing. Typically around 500 milliliters. What is the main function of the large intestine?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The large intestine absorbs water and electrolytes from undigested food, forming solid waste, feces. What is erythropoiesis?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Erythropoiesis is the process of red blood cell production, primarily occurring in the bone marrow. How is the pH of blood regulated?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The pH of blood is regulated by buffers. Bicarbonate system, the respiratory system, and the kidneys. What is the function of pulmonary surfactant?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Pulmonary surfactant reduces surface tension in the alveoli. preventing their collapse during exhalation. How does hemoglobin act as a buffer?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hemoglobin binds to hydrogen ions, helping to regulate the pH of blood. What is the functional unit of the kidney?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The nephron is the functional unit of the kidney, responsible for urine formation. What is a motor unit in muscle contraction?
3, 2, 1, 0.
A motor unit consists of a motor neuron and the muscle fibers it innervates. What is the primary role of the adrenal medulla?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The adrenal medulla secretes adrenaline and noradrenaline, hormones involved in the fight or flight response. What is the role of calcium in muscle contraction?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Calcium ions bind to troponin, allowing the actin-myosin interaction needed for muscle contraction. What is the difference between primary and secondary active transport?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Primary active transport uses ATP directly, while secondary active transport uses an ion gradient created by primary transport. What is erythropoietin, and what is its role?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Erythropoietin is a hormone produced by the kidneys that stimulates the production of red blood cells in the bone marrow. What is the role of the parathyroid hormone, PTH?
3, 2, 1, 0.
PTH regulates calcium and phosphate levels in the blood, increasing calcium reabsorption from bones and kidneys. What is the cardiac cycle?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The cardiac cycle consists of a series of events that occur from the beginning of one heartbeat to the next, including systole and diastole. How does aldosterone regulate blood pressure?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Aldosterone increases sodium reabsorption in the kidneys, which increases water retention and blood pressure. What is the role of the liver in the excretory system?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The liver helps in the excretion of waste products through bile and detoxification of harmful substances. How do the kidneys regulate blood volume and osmolarity?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The kidneys regulate blood volume by adjusting the excretion of water and sodium, influencing blood pressure and osmolarity. How is heart rate controlled by the autonomic nervous system?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The sympathetic nervous system increases heart rate, while the parasympathetic system decreases it. What is the function of oxytocin in the human body?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Oxytocin stimulates uterine contractions during childbirth and the release of milk during breastfeeding. What is the function of the cerebrum?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The cerebrum controls higher functions like thought, action, memory, and sensory processing. How does the hypothalamus link the nervous and endocrine systems?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The hypothalamus regulates the pituitary gland, controlling the release of hormones that affect various body functions. What is the function of synovial fluid in joints?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Synovial fluid lubricates joints, reducing friction and enabling smooth movement. How is the respiratory rate controlled?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The respiratory rate is controlled by the respiratory centers in the medulla oblongata and pons, which respond to changes in blood CO2 levels. What is the role of insulin in regulating blood glucose levels?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Insulin lowers blood glucose levels by promoting the uptake of glucose into cells and the conversion of glucose to glycogen. What is the function of cerebrospinal fluid, CSF?
3, 2, 1, 0.
CSF cushions the brain and spinal cord, provides nutrients, and removes waste products. How does the human body prevent food from entering the respiratory tract during swallowing?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The epiglottis closes over the trachea during swallowing, preventing food from entering the respiratory tract. What is the chloride shift in respiration?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The chloride shift refers to the exchange of bicarbonate and chloride ions across the red blood cell membrane to maintain ionic balance during CO2 transport. What is the role of carbonic anhydrase in respiration?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Carbonic anhydrase catalyzes the conversion of carbon dioxide and water into carbonic acid, which dissociates into bicarbonate and hydrogen ions, aiding CO2 transport. What are the major functions of the human liver?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The liver performs detoxification, produces bile, stores glycogen, and regulates blood sugar levels. How is the PCO2 in the blood related to the rate of respiration?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Increased PCO2 in the blood stimulates the respiratory center in the brain to increase the rate of respiration to expel excess CO2. How does blood clotting occur in the human body?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Blood clotting involves the conversion of fibrinogen to fibrin, forming a clot, mediated by platelets and clotting factors. What is the role of platelets in the circulatory system?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Platelets are responsible for clot formation, preventing excessive blood loss from damaged vessels. How is urea formed in the liver?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Urea is formed in the liver through the urea cycle, converting ammonia, a toxic byproduct of protein metabolism, into urea for excretion. How does the kidney regulate acid-base balance in the body?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The kidney regulates acid-base balance by excreting hydrogen ions and reabsorbing bicarbonate ions to maintain blood pH. What is the significance of countercurrent mechanisms in the nephron?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The countercurrent mechanism in the loop of Henle helps concentrate urine and conserve water. What is the role of interstitial fluid in the human body?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Interstitial fluid surrounds tissue cells, providing nutrients and removing waste products. It forms part of the extracellular fluid. What are osteoblasts and their role in bone formation?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Osteoblasts are cells responsible for bone formation by synthesizing the bone matrix. What is the role of tendons in the human body?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Tendons connect muscles to bones, transmitting the force generated by muscle contraction to the skeleton. How does calcium regulate muscle contraction?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Calcium ions bind to troponin on actin filaments, exposing binding sites for myosin, allowing muscle contraction to occur. What is the role of the cerebrum in the human brain?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The cerebrum is responsible for voluntary actions, reasoning, memory, and sensory processing. How does a reflex action occur?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Reflex actions are rapid, involuntary responses to stimuli, mediated by the spinal cord without involving the brain. What is the difference between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The sympathetic nervous system stimulates the fight or flight response, while the parasympathetic system promotes rest and digest activities. How do hormones regulate the menstrual cycle?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hormones like estrogen, progesterone, luteinizing hormone, LH, and follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH, regulate the menstrual cycle by controlling ovulation and the preparation of the uterine lining. What is the role of melatonin in the human body?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Melatonin regulates the sleep-wake cycle and circadian rhythms, and its secretion increases in darkness. How is urine volume regulated by antidiuretic hormone, ADH?
3, 2, 1, 0.
ADH increases water reabsorption in the kidneys, reducing urine volume and conserving body water. How do neurotransmitters function in synaptic transmission?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Neurotransmitters are chemicals that transmit signals across a synapse from one neuron to another, triggering an action potential in the receiving neuron. What is the role of growth hormone, GH, in the body?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Growth hormone promotes growth and development, especially of bones and muscles, and regulates metabolism. How does the pancreas regulate blood sugar levels?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The pancreas secretes insulin to lower blood sugar and glucagon to raise it, maintaining glucose homeostasis. How do kidneys help regulate electrolyte balance?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Kidneys regulate electrolyte balance by selectively reabsorbing or excreting ions like sodium, potassium, and calcium. What is the function of the lymphatic system?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The lymphatic system maintains fluid balance, defends against infections, and transports lymph, a fluid containing immune cells. How does oxygen bind to hemoglobin?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Oxygen binds to the iron in the heme group of hemoglobin molecules in red blood cells. What is the function of the pyloric sphincter in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The pyloric sphincter controls the passage of partially digested food from the stomach to the small intestine. How does the diaphragm function in breathing?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The diaphragm contracts to expand the thoracic cavity, reducing pressure and allowing air to enter the lungs during inhalation. What is the difference between systemic and pulmonary circulation?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Pulmonary circulation involves blood flow between the heart and lungs, while systemic circulation distributes oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. How is the secretion of digestive enzymes regulated?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Digestive enzymes are regulated by hormones such as gastrin, secretin, and cholecystokinin, CCK, which respond to the presence of food in the digestive tract. What is the function of salivary amylase?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Salivary amylase breaks down starch into maltose in the mouth. How does partial pressure of oxygen influence oxygen binding to hemoglobin?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Higher partial pressure of oxygen increases the binding affinity of oxygen to hemoglobin. What is the difference between systolic and diastolic blood pressure?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Systolic pressure is the pressure during heart contraction, while diastolic pressure is the pressure when the heart is relaxed. What are baroreceptors and where are they located?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Baroreceptors are pressure-sensitive receptors located in the carotid sinus and aortic arch, responsible for regulating blood pressure. What is the role of aldosterone in the kidneys?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Aldosterone increases sodium reabsorption in the kidneys, leading to water retention and increased blood volume. How is CO2 transported in the blood?
3, 2, 1, 0.
CO2 is transported in the blood as bicarbonate ions, dissolved in plasma, or bound to hemoglobin. What is the significance of the loop of Henle in urine concentration?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The loop of Henle creates a concentration gradient in the medulla of the kidney, allowing for water reabsorption and concentration of urine. How is a nerve impulse transmitted across a synapse?
3, 2, 1, 0.
A nerve impulse is transmitted across a synapse through the release of neurotransmitters that bind to receptors on the postsynaptic membrane. generating an action potential. What is the main function of the cerebellum?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The cerebellum coordinates voluntary movements, balance, and posture. What is peristalsis, and where does it occur?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Peristalsis is the rhythmic contraction of smooth muscles that propels food through the digestive tract, especially in the esophagus and intestines. What is the function of myoglobin in muscles?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Myoglobin stores oxygen in muscle cells, providing an oxygen reserve during muscle activity. What is the significance of tidal volume?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Tidal volume is the volume of air inhaled or exhaled during a normal breath, essential for maintaining oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange in the lungs. What is the role of ATP in muscle contraction?
3, 2, 1, 0.
ATP provides the energy required for the myosin heads to detach from actin and reset for another contraction cycle in muscles. How do hormones reach their target cells?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hormones are secreted into the bloodstream by endocrine glands and travel through the circulatory system to reach their target cells. How does the body regulate core temperature?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The hypothalamus regulates body temperature by initiating responses like sweating, vasodilation, or shivering and vasoconstriction. What is the role of ADH in water balance?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Antidiuretic hormone, ADH, increases water reabsorption in the kidneys, helping the body retain water and concentrate urine. How does the diaphragm assist in breathing?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The diaphragm contracts to increase the thoracic cavity's volume, reducing pressure in the lungs and allowing air to flow in during inhalation. What is the function of albumin in the blood?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Albumin helps maintain osmotic pressure and transport various substances, such as hormones and drugs, in the blood. How is oxygen unloaded from hemoglobin in tissues?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Oxygen is unloaded from hemoglobin in tissues where the partial pressure of oxygen is low and carbon dioxide concentration is high, decreasing hemoglobin's affinity for oxygen. What is the function of the pacemaker in the heart?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The sinoatrial SA node, known as the pacemaker, generates electrical impulses that initiate the heartbeat and regulate the heart's rhythm. How is glucose absorbed in the small intestine?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Glucose is absorbed in the small intestine through active transport, involving sodium-glucose transporters in the epithelial cells. What is the role of the colon in the digestive system?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The colon absorbs water and electrolytes from undigested food, forming solid waste, feces. How does the structure of hemoglobin change during oxygen binding?
3, 2,
Hemoglobin undergoes a conformational change when oxygen binds, increasing its affinity for more oxygen in a cooperative manner. How does the kidney respond to dehydration?
3, 2, 1, 0.
In response to dehydration, the kidneys conserve water by reabsorbing more water in the distal convoluted tubules and collecting ducts. Under the influence of ADH, how does the lymphatic system support immunity?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The lymphatic system transports lymph, which contains lymphocytes that help defend the body against infections and foreign particles. What is the function of calcitonin?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Calcitonin is a hormone secreted by the thyroid gland that lowers blood calcium levels by inhibiting osteoclast activity and increasing calcium excretion in the kidneys. How do erythrocytes, red blood cells, transport oxygen?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Erythrocytes contain hemoglobin, which binds oxygen in the lungs and releases it in tissues, facilitating oxygen transport throughout the body. How is the electrical activity of the heart measured?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The electrical activity of the heart is measured using an electrocardiogram, ECG, which records the heart's electrical impulses during each cardiac cycle. What is the function of bile in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Bile emulsifies fats, breaking them into smaller droplets, which increases the surface area for enzyme action during fat digestion. How does the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, RAAS, regulate blood pressure?
3, 2, 1, 0.
RAAS regulates blood pressure by promoting sodium and water reabsorption, leading to increased blood volume and pressure. What is the Bohr effect in oxygen transport?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The Bohr effect is the phenomenon where increased carbon dioxide levels in tissues lower blood pH, reducing hemoglobin's affinity for oxygen, thus aiding oxygen release. What is the primary function of bile salts in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Bile salts aid in the emulsification of fats, breaking them into smaller micelles for easier digestion by lipase enzymes. What is the chloride shift, Hamburger phenomenon?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The chloride shift refers to the exchange of bicarbonate ions and chloride ions across the red blood cell membrane to maintain ionic balance during CO2 transport. What is the role of the pyloric sphincter?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The pyloric sphincter regulates the passage of partially digested food, chyme, from the stomach into the duodenum. What is hypercapnia and how does it affect respiration?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hypercapnia is an increase in the partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the blood, stimulating chemoreceptors to increase the rate and depth of breathing. How does the countercurrent mechanism function in the kidney?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The counter-current mechanism in the nephron's loop of Henle helps concentrate urine by creating a gradient for water and ion reabsorption. What are the components of gastric juice?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Gastric juice consists of hydrochloric acid, hydrogen chloride, pepsinogen, intrinsic factor, and mucus, all aiding in digestion and protection of the stomach lining. What triggers the release of bile from the gallbladder?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The hormone cholecystokinin, CCK, released from the small intestine in response to fatty food, stimulates the contraction of the gallbladder to release bile. What role does carbonic anhydrase play in respiration?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Carbonic anhydrase catalyzes the conversion of carbon dioxide and water into carbonic acid, which dissociates into bicarbonate and hydrogen ions in red blood cells. What is the function of the AV node in the heart?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The atrioventricular AV node delays the electrical impulse from the atria to the ventricles, allowing the atria to contract before ventricular contraction. How is oxygen dissociation from hemoglobin influenced by 2,3-bisphosphoglycerate, BPG?
3, 2, 1, 0.
2,3-BPG binds to hemoglobin and decreases its affinity for oxygen, promoting oxygen release in tissues, especially under low oxygen conditions. What is the significance of the cardiac output?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Cardiac output is the volume of blood pumped by each ventricle per minute, crucial for maintaining proper circulation and oxygen delivery to tissues. What is renal threshold, and how does it relate to glucose reabsorption?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The renal threshold is the plasma concentration of a substance at which it begins to appear in the urine. For glucose, it is around 180 milligrams per deciliter, above which glucose is excreted. How does the respiratory center in the brain regulate breathing?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The respiratory center in the medulla oblongata and pons regulates the rate and depth of breathing by responding to changes in blood CO2 levels and pH. What is the role of fibrinogen in blood clotting?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Fibrinogen is a plasma protein that is converted into fibrin threads during blood clotting, forming a mesh that traps blood cells and forms a clot. How is the process of glomerular filtration regulated?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Glomerular filtration is regulated by blood pressure in the afferent and efferent arterioles, as well as by signals from the juxtaglomerular apparatus. What is the function of somatostatin in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Somatostatin inhibits the secretion of gastric acid and other digestive enzymes, slowing down the digestive process. How is urea produced in the body?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Urea is produced in the liver through the urea cycle, where ammonia, a toxic byproduct of protein metabolism, is converted into urea for excretion by the kidneys. What is the role of the tricuspid valve in the heart?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The tricuspid valve prevents backflow of blood from the right ventricle to the right atrium during ventricular contraction. What is the role of insulin in glucose metabolism?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Insulin promotes the uptake of glucose into cells, particularly in the liver, muscle, and fat, lowering blood glucose levels and promoting glycogen storage. What is the effect of high carbon dioxide levels on blood pH?
3, 2, 1, 0.
High carbon dioxide levels lower blood pH, causing acidosis, as carbon dioxide reacts with water to form carbonic acid, which dissociates into hydrogen ions and bicarbonate. How do the kidneys regulate electrolyte balance?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The kidneys regulate electrolyte balance by reabsorbing or excreting sodium, potassium, calcium, and other ions in response to hormonal signals such as aldosterone. What is erythropoietin, and what is its function?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Erythropoietin is a hormone secreted by the kidneys that stimulates red blood cell production in the bone marrow in response to low oxygen levels. What is the function of the intercostal muscles in breathing?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Intercostal muscles assist in breathing by contracting to lift the rib cage during inhalation and relaxing during exhalation, expanding and contracting the thoracic cavity. How does the body compensate for acidosis?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The body compensates for acidosis by increasing respiration to expel more CO2, a respiratory response, and by the kidneys excreting hydrogen ions and reabsorbing bicarbonate, a renal response. What is the function of the pancreas in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The pancreas secretes digestive enzymes, amylase, lipase, and proteases, and bicarbonate into the small intestine, aiding in the breakdown of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. How do steroid hormones exert their effects on target cells?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Steroid hormones pass through the cell membrane and bind to intracellular receptors, influencing gene transcription and protein synthesis. What is the role of hemoglobin in carbon dioxide transport?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hemoglobin transports carbon dioxide by binding to it to form carbaminohemoglobin, and also helps buffer blood pH by binding hydrogen ions. What is the role of glucagon in blood sugar regulation?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Glucagon, secreted by the pancreas, raises blood glucose levels by promoting glycogen breakdown in the liver and the release of glucose into the bloodstream. What is the main function of the loop of Henle?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The loop of Henle creates a concentration gradient in the medulla of the kidney, allowing for the reabsorption of water and concentration of urine. How do hormones regulate blood calcium levels?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Parathyroid hormone, PTH, increases blood calcium levels by promoting calcium release from bones, while calcitonin lowers calcium levels by inhibiting bone resorption. How does aldosterone regulate sodium and potassium levels?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Aldosterone increases sodium reabsorption and potassium excretion in the kidneys, helping to regulate blood pressure and electrolyte balance. What is the role of trypsin in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Trypsin is a protease enzyme that breaks down proteins into smaller peptides in the small intestine, activating other digestive enzymes in the process. What is the respiratory quotient, RQ, and how is it calculated?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The respiratory quotient, RQ, is the ratio of carbon dioxide produced to oxygen consumed during metabolism. It is calculated as RQ equals CO2 eliminated, O2 consumed. How is the secretion of gastric acid regulated?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Gastric acid secretion is regulated by gastrin, histamine, and acetylcholine, which stimulate acid production, while somatostatin inhibits it. What is meant by the term renal clearance?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Renal clearance refers to the volume of plasma from which a substance is completely cleared by the kidneys per unit time, used to assess kidney function. What is the role of oxytocin during childbirth?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Oxytocin stimulates uterine contractions during labor and helps with the milk ejection reflex. During breastfeeding, how do neurons communicate at synapses?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Neurons communicate at synapses through the release of neurotransmitters that bind to receptors on the postsynaptic neuron, transmitting the signal. What is the sliding filament theory of muscle contraction?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The sliding filament theory explains that during muscle contraction, actin filaments slide over myosin filaments, shortening the sarcomere and contracting the muscle. What is the role of intrinsic factor in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Intrinsic factor, secreted by the stomach, binds to vitamin B12 and allows its absorption in the small intestine. Without intrinsic factor, vitamin B12 cannot be absorbed. What is the significance of the T wave in an electrocardiogram, ECG?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The T wave in an ECG represents the repolarization of the ventricles, which occurs after the ventricles have contracted. What is erythropoiesis and where does it occur?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Erythropoiesis is the process of red blood cell formation, primarily occurring in the bone marrow. It is stimulated by the hormone erythropoietin. What are the primary components of saliva, and what is their function?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Saliva contains water, electrolytes, mucus, amylase, and lysozyme. It helps moisten food, initiate starch digestion, and protect against bacteria. What is the function of surfactant in the lungs?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Surfactant reduces surface tension in the alveoli, preventing their collapse and aiding in efficient gas exchange during respiration. How is the heart rate regulated by the autonomic nervous system?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The sympathetic nervous system increases heart rate, while the parasympathetic nervous system, via the vagus nerve, decreases heart rate. What is the function of bilirubins?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Bilirubins, primarily bilirubin, are waste products of hemoglobin breakdown and are excreted in bile to be eliminated from the body. In feces. How does ADH, antidiuretic hormone, influence water reabsorption in the kidneys?
3, 2, 1, 0.
ADH increases the permeability of the collecting ducts in the kidneys, allowing more water to be reabsorbed and concentrating the urine. How does the diaphragm contribute to breathing?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The diaphragm contracts and flattens during inhalation, expanding the thoracic cavity and decreasing pressure, allowing air to flow into the lungs. What is the role of secretin in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Secretin is a hormone released by the small intestine in response to acidic chyme. It stimulates the pancreas to secrete bicarbonate-rich fluid to neutralize the acid. How does the SA node function as the pacemaker of the heart?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The sinoatrial SA node generates electrical impulses that initiate the contraction of the atria, setting the pace for the heartbeat. What is the function of the adrenal medulla?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The adrenal medulla secretes adrenaline, epinephrine, and noradrenaline, norepinephrine, hormones that prepare the body for fight or flight responses during stress. How is bicarbonate reabsorbed in the kidney?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Bicarbonate is reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule of the nephron by reacting with hydrogen ions to form carbonic acid, which dissociates into CO2 and water. What is the role of albumin in the blood?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Albumin is a plasma protein that helps maintain osmotic pressure, keeping fluid in the blood vessels and preventing it from leaking into tissues. What is the function of Pacinian corpuscles?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Pacinian corpuscles are mechanoreceptors in the skin that detect pressure and vibrations, transmitting these sensations to the nervous system. What is the function of the vomeronasal organ in humans?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The vomeronasal organ is part of the olfactory system and is thought to detect pheromones, chemicals involved in social and reproductive behaviors. How does the hepatic portal system function in nutrient transport?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The hepatic portal system transports nutrient-rich blood from the digestive organs to the liver for processing before it enters the systemic circulation. What is the role of renin in blood pressure regulation?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Renin is an enzyme secreted by the kidneys that activates the renin-angiotensin system, leading to vasoconstriction and increased blood pressure. How do pancreatic alpha cells regulate blood glucose levels?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Alpha cells of the pancreas secrete glucagon, which raises blood glucose levels by promoting glycogen breakdown in the liver. What is the function of gastric glands?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Gastric glands secrete gastric juice containing hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus, which aid in digestion of proteins and protect the stomach lining. How is carbon dioxide transported in the blood?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Carbon dioxide is transported in three forms: dissolved in plasma, as bicarbonate ions, and bound to hemoglobin as carbaminohemoglobin. How do baroreceptors help regulate blood pressure?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Baroreceptors, located in the walls of arteries, detect changes in blood pressure and signal the medulla to adjust heart rate and blood vessel diameter. What is the significance of the P wave in an electrocardiogram, ECG?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The P wave represents the depolarization of the atria, initiating their contraction. How does hemoglobin act as a buffer in the blood?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hemoglobin buffers the blood by binding to hydrogen ions formed during the conversion of carbon dioxide to bicarbonate, helping to maintain pH balance. What is the Bohr effect in relation to oxygen transport?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The Bohr effect is the phenomenon where a decrease in pH or an increase in CO2 concentration reduces hemoglobin's affinity for oxygen, enhancing oxygen delivery to tissues. How does insulin influence glucose uptake by cells?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Insulin facilitates the uptake of glucose into cells by stimulating the insertion of glucose transporters into the cell membrane, particularly in muscle and fat cells. What is the role of the juxtaglomerular apparatus in kidney function?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The juxtaglomerular apparatus regulates blood pressure by secreting renin, which triggers the renin-angiotensin system, and by controlling glomerular filtration rate. What is the chloride shift, Hamburger phenomenon, in respiration?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The chloride shift is the movement of chloride ions into red blood cells as bicarbonate ions move out, helping maintain electrical neutrality during CO2 transport. How is lactic acid produced during muscle contraction?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Lactic acid is produced in muscles during anaerobic respiration when oxygen is insufficient, as pyruvate is converted to lactate in the absence of oxygen. What is the role of angiotensin II in blood pressure regulation?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Angiotensin II is a potent vasoconstrictor that increases blood pressure by narrowing blood vessels and stimulating aldosterone release, which promotes sodium retention. How do kidneys contribute to acid-base balance in the body?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Kidneys help maintain acid-base balance by reabsorbing bicarbonate and excreting hydrogen ions, regulating the pH of the blood. What is the role of the hypothalamus in thermoregulation?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The hypothalamus regulates body temperature by initiating heat production or heat loss responses, such as shivering or sweating, depending on the body's needs. How does negative feedback work in the regulation of hormones?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Negative feedback involves the reduction of hormone secretion when the desired effect has been achieved, maintaining homeostasis. For example, high levels of thyroxine inhibit TSH secretion. What are Peyer's patches, and what is their function?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Peyer's patches are lymphoid tissues in the small intestine that monitor intestinal bacteria populations and help prevent the growth of harmful pathogens. How does acetylcholine influence the transmission of nerve impulses?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter that binds to receptors on the postsynaptic membrane, causing depolarization and the transmission of nerve impulses in cholinergic synapses. How is the rate of glomerular filtration regulated?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Glomerular filtration rate, GFR, is regulated by intrinsic mechanisms, autoregulation, and extrinsic mechanisms, sympathetic nervous system and hormones like angiotensin II. How do rods and cones differ in their function in the retina?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Rods are responsible for vision in low light conditions and do not detect color, while cones are active in bright light and enable color vision. What is the role of bile salts in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Bile salts emulsify fats in the small intestine, breaking them into smaller droplets to facilitate the action of lipase, an enzyme that digests fats. How do chemoreceptors in the carotid and aortic bodies regulate breathing?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Chemoreceptors detect changes in blood CO2 and pH levels and send signals to the respiratory centers in the brain to adjust the rate and depth of breathing. How does fibrinogen contribute to blood clotting?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Fibrinogen is converted to fibrin during blood clotting, forming a mesh that traps blood cells and platelets, creating a stable clot to stop bleeding. What is the role of interstitial cells of Leydig in male reproduction?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Leydig cells, located in the testes, produce testosterone, which is essential for the development of male secondary sexual characteristics and spermatogenesis. What is the effect of hyperventilation on blood pH?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hyperventilation leads to excessive loss of CO2, causing a decrease in blood carbonic acid levels and an increase in pH, leading to respiratory alkalosis. How does myelin sheath enhance the speed of nerve impulse conduction?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The myelin sheath acts as an insulator, allowing electrical impulses to jump between nodes of Ranvier saltatory conduction, which speeds up the transmission of impulses along the nerve fiber. What is the role of enterokinase in protein digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Enterokinase is an enzyme that activates trypsinogen into trypsin in the small intestine, which then helps in protein digestion. How is the cardiac output regulated?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Cardiac output is regulated by heart rate and stroke volume. It is influenced by autonomic nerves, hormones like adrenaline, and venous return. How does the liver detoxify harmful substances in the body?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The liver converts harmful substances like ammonia into urea and metabolizes drugs and toxins. Through oxidation, reduction, and conjugation. How does aldosterone regulate sodium levels in the body?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Aldosterone increases sodium reabsorption in the kidney tubules, which helps regulate blood sodium levels and blood pressure. What is the significance of surfactant in the lungs?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Surfactant reduces the surface tension in the alveoli, preventing their collapse and ensuring efficient gas exchange in the lungs. How does the body maintain calcium homeostasis?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Calcium homeostasis is maintained by parathyroid hormone, PTH, which increases blood calcium levels by stimulating calcium release from bones and enhancing calcium reabsorption in kidneys. What role does the medulla oblongata play in breathing?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The medulla oblongata contains the respiratory center, which controls the rate and depth of breathing by sending signals to the respiratory muscles. How does erythropoietin regulate red blood cell production?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Erythropoietin is a hormone produced by the kidneys that stimulates the bone marrow to produce more red blood cells in response to low oxygen levels. What is the function of the hepatic portal system?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The hepatic portal system transports nutrient-rich blood from the digestive organs to the liver for detoxification and metabolism before returning it to systemic circulation. How does cortisol help the body respond to stress?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Cortisol A glucocorticoid hormone increases glucose availability, suppresses the immune response, and helps the body cope with stress by enhancing energy production. How do Kupffer cells function in the liver?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Kupffer cells are specialized macrophages in the liver that help remove pathogens, debris, and old red blood cells from the blood. What is the role of antidiuretic hormone, ADH, in water balance?
3, 2, 1, 0.
ADH promotes water reabsorption in the kidneys, reducing urine output and helping maintain water balance in the body. What is the function of the loop of Henle in the kidney?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The loop of Henle creates a concentration gradient in the kidney medulla, allowing for the reabsorption of water and sodium, which helps concentrate urine. How does the sodium-potassium pump function in nerve cells?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The sodium-potassium pump actively transports sodium out of the cell and potassium into the cell, maintaining the resting membrane potential essential for nerve impulse conduction. What is the role of vitamin D in calcium absorption?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Vitamin D promotes the absorption of calcium from the intestine, ensuring sufficient calcium levels for bone formation and other physiological functions. How does the small intestine absorb glucose?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Glucose is absorbed in the small intestine through active transport by sodium glucose co-transporters present on the epithelial cells of the intestinal lining. How is urine concentration regulated by the kidneys?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Urine concentration is regulated by the action of ADH on the collecting ducts, which makes them more permeable to water, allowing more water reabsorption and concentrated urine. What is the function of the hypothalamus in hunger regulation?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The hypothalamus contains centers that regulate hunger and satiety. The lateral hypothalamus triggers hunger, while the ventromedial hypothalamus induces satiety. How do B cells and T cells differ in immune response?
3, 2, 1, 0.
B cells produce antibodies that neutralize pathogens, while T cells directly attack infected cells or assist other immune cells. What is the role of platelets in hemostasis?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Platelets initiate the blood clotting process by forming a temporary plug at the site of injury and releasing factors that help form a stable clot. How do intercalated discs function in cardiac muscle?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Intercalated discs allow for rapid transmission of electrical impulses and synchronized contraction of cardiac muscle cells. How does the lymphatic system assist in fluid balance?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The lymphatic system collects excess tissue fluid, lymph, and returns it to the bloodstream, helping to maintain fluid balance in the body. What is the role of pepsin in digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Pepsin is an enzyme secreted by the stomach that breaks down proteins into smaller peptides in the acidic environment of the stomach. How does hemoglobin saturation change with varying oxygen concentrations?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hemoglobin's saturation increases with higher oxygen concentrations, following a sigmoidal curve, which allows it to release oxygen in tissues with lower oxygen levels. What is the role of erythropoiesis, and where does it occur?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Erythropoiesis is the process of red blood cell formation, primarily occurring in the bone marrow in response to low oxygen levels. What triggers the secretion of cholecystokinin, CCK, and what is its function?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Cholecystokinin is secreted in response to fatty chyme in the duodenum and stimulates the gallbladder to release bile and the pancreas to release digestive enzymes. What is the difference between tidal volume and vital capacity?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Tidal volume is the amount of air inhaled or exhaled in a normal breath, while vital capacity is the maximum amount of air that can be exhaled after a maximal inhalation. How does the parasympathetic nervous system influence digestion?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The parasympathetic nervous system stimulates digestive activities by increasing saliva production, gastric motility, and secretion of digestive enzymes. How does the bicarbonate buffer system maintain blood pH?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The bicarbonate buffer system maintains blood pH by neutralizing excess acids or bases through reversible reactions involving carbonic acid and bicarbonate ions. What is the function of the loop of Henle in countercurrent multiplication?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The loop of Henle creates a high concentration of solutes in the medulla of the kidney, which allows for the reabsorption of water and the formation of concentrated urine. What are the effects of hypersecretion of growth hormone in adults?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hypersecretion of growth hormone in adults leads to acromegaly, characterized by abnormal growth of bones in the face, hands, and feet. How does the respiratory center regulate breathing during exercise?
3, 2, 1, 0.
During exercise, the respiratory center in the medulla increases the rate and depth of breathing to meet the increased oxygen demands and remove excess CO2. What is the role of calcium ions in muscle contraction?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Calcium ions bind to troponin on the thin filaments, causing a conformational change that allows myosin to bind to actin, resulting in muscle contraction. How does insulin lower blood glucose levels?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Insulin facilitates the uptake of glucose into cells, particularly muscle and adipose cells, and promotes glycogen synthesis in the liver, thereby lowering blood glucose levels. How does the sympathetic nervous system prepare the body for fight or flight responses?
3, 2, 1,
The sympathetic nervous system increases heart rate, dilates pupils, redirects blood flow to muscles, and releases adrenaline, preparing the body for rapid responses to stress. What is the role of melatonin in regulating sleep-wake cycles?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Melatonin, secreted by the pineal gland, regulates circadian rhythms, promoting sleep in response to darkness and helping synchronize the body's sleep-wake cycle. How does the body detect low oxygen levels and respond?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Low oxygen levels are detected by peripheral chemoreceptors in the carotid and aortic bodies, which signal the respiratory center to increase breathing rate and depth. What is the significance of the juxtaglomerular apparatus in kidney function?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The juxtaglomerular apparatus regulates blood pressure by releasing renin, which activates the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, adjusting glomerular filtration rate and blood volume. How is glucose reabsorbed in the nephron?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Glucose is reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule through sodium-glucose cotransporters, ensuring that glucose is not lost in urine. What is the function of the atrioventricular node in the heart?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The atrioventricular AV node delays the electrical impulse from the atria to the ventricles, allowing the atria to contract fully before the ventricles do. How do hormones regulate calcium levels in the blood?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Parathyroid hormone, PTH, increases blood calcium levels by stimulating bone resorption, while calcitonin from the thyroid gland lowers calcium levels by inhibiting bone resorption. What is the role of bile in the digestion of fats?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Bile emulsifies fats in the small intestine, breaking them into smaller droplets, which increases the surface area for the action of lipase. How does the body regulate blood pH through respiration?
3, 2, 1, 0.
The body regulates blood pH through the respiratory system by adjusting the rate of CO2 elimination. Increased CO2 exhalation lowers blood acidity, while decreased CO2 exhalation increases acidity. What is the function of aldosterone in the regulation of sodium and potassium balance?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Aldosterone increases sodium reabsorption and potassium excretion in the distal convoluted tubules and collecting ducts of the kidneys, helping regulate electrolyte balance and blood pressure. How do gap junctions contribute to the function of cardiac muscle?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Gap junctions allow the rapid transmission of electrical impulses between cardiac muscle cells, ensuring coordinated contraction of the heart.